a lot of comprehensive coverage, including Alabama's Pro Day. And Martin, I said this earlier. I can never get it out of my head. You always used to say the All-American in shorts. Just wait till we get those pads on, and I cannot get past Pro Day without looking at a lot of guys running around in shorts.
Yeah, that's the shorts All-Americans are the All-American Olympics, short All-American Olympics, where guys really go all out. But it's part of it, Ryan, and they've made it where it is a part of, the football tradition. But so many times I'm so disappointed by what happens in these pro days and how it hurts guys. And so it made me wonder, DeVonta Smith has refused to run. Huh?
That's where I was going. I was about to set it up for you.
Yeah, he's refused to run. He's refused to weigh in. And I asked the question on my show, did it help him, hurt him, or does it matter? 90-something% of the people say it doesn't matter. Well, think about that for a second, Ryan. Do you think the NFL spends millions of dollars to do something that doesn't matter? It's possible. There are some guys that it may not hurt, may not help. But here's the only concern I have when guys don't compete, Ryan, and you and I we've talked about this a little bit. I don't think Garoppolo passes AJ if AJ's able to participate in Senior Bowl and Combine and Pro Day. I think that cost him. And I could be wrong, but you and I know more backstory than we can talk about, but you know what I mean?
Sure.
And it doesn't hurt DeVonta unless there's somebody out there that they discover in the process, if that makes sense. And we see it all the time that there are guys who end up in the first round that you and I have never heard of, but they end up jumping in front of a guy. Now, DeVonta has enough film that you would almost have to be stupid, Ryan, to not draft him. But you want to know the real skinny on why DeVonta is not running?
Okay, help me. I'm ready.
What does he say every single time that they talk to him? He says, I weigh what? I weigh 170. You know what's happening right now? They are working him diligently, Ryan, to get him to 170. And the day he step on the scale, he will be.
I know where you're going.
Yes. What? The only thing that could hurt DeVonta Smith at this point is what?
Is if he weighed less. Way less.
So why not take January, February?
So putting all the effort into that and not. Okay, I got you. I know where you're going.
I truly believe if I was an agent and he was my client and he did what he did on film, and you question whether or not he can play football, you need to be fired. But if you look at his frame, you do have a right and a legitimate concern to question whether or not he's big enough. And for some reason, 170 is the magic number. I don't know why, but the NFL seems to be fixated on the fact that if DeVonta Smith weighs 170, then he can make it. And Ryan, they are that much of a sticker. You remember when Saban used to recruit guys, and if they weren't 6'3", 243 pounds, you know what I mean? He was so specific on what he wanted in that position at linebacker that if you fell outside of that, you had to be something extra special. And so DeVonta Smith, I think, is working really hard to get to that 170.
Let me read off some stats. I got to give credit back to Matt Zennett's AL.com. Not going to plagiarize his work. He's got some amazing numbers that he was able to get from the evaluators today. Christian Barrymore, weighted at 6'4", 310, 499, 40-yard dash. Deontay Brown, down 20 pounds from Senior Bowl, which tells that's what the NFL wanted to see him down. He's at 344. He ran a 5.45 40-yard dash. Thomas Fletcher, maybe the fastest snapper in the entire country at 4.92 40-yard dash. 13 reps of 225 from a snapper. Miller Forstall, 4.8 40-yard dash. He ran a little faster maybe what I thought he would be. 20 reps of 225. Quarterback Mac Jones, 6'3", 217, 4.75 40-yard dash. 32-inch vertical jump. Offensive lineman Alex Leatherwood, 6'5", 312, 495 40-inch dash, 40-yard dash. 9 foot 10-inch broad jump, 34.5-inch vertical. Josh McMillan, a 4.95, 13 reps of 225. Patrick Surtain, a 4.41 40-yard dash, 39-inch vertical jump, 18 reps of 225 there. Carl Tucker, 4.95 40. Matt Womack also came back and worked out after recovering from the injury, 5.25 40, 28 reps of 225, and at 336 pounds. We'll leave it right there. But you know what it's telling me? 1 year into this strength conditioning program, they already are able to improve those times. Because that's what that tells me is how much the new strength coach, Matt Ray and Matthew Ballou, are able to do it. David Ray and Matthew Ballou.
Yeah, they definitely work on the speed. I'm always intrigued that the big guys don't do bench, but we'll see if that trend continues for Alabama.
Well, now let me say this. That is just the numbers that he was able to capture. Some of these may not be comprehensive.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some of these, may not be. It just may be what he was able to gather because, these guys. I mean, scouts tell you one thing and do another. So it's kind of.
Yeah, Christian Barmore. Yeah, and sometimes they tell you numbers, so you report them, and they're worse than they really were.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Someone, Curtis Moore, was asking about Christian Barmore. What was his numbers again?
Christian was 6'4", 310. He was a 4.99 40-yard dash.
6'4", 310, and ran below a 5 flat.
Yep.
That's a whole lot of man moving. So.
Well, and even like Alex Leatherwood.
Yeah.
A 4.95 at 312, 6'5", and I tell you what. It looked like he was carved out of Stone Mountain granite, as I always like to say. I mean, he looked wow. He is well put together for a big boy. Yes, he looks nothing like a guy who weighs 315 pounds.
That's right. But he looked like that coming out of high school. He was always a lean, athletic, cut, build guy, and I think that them just. Added to that. Speaking of the two strength and conditioning coaches, Ryan, that's what I really, if anything, Ryan, I look at the difference in Najee Harris, how he played. I looked at how Devontae Smith, even though Devontae had played well, Devontae played so much stronger last year. I look at what those two guys did. I look at Mac Jones running a 4.75. I would have put Mac Jones. I would have, I didn't see that. I would not have seen that. That shows you he's a lot more athletic than we give him credit for. But I think these two strength and conditioning coaches, man, I can't wait to see what this team looks like, Ryan, with a year, because all of these numbers that we're talking about, Ryan, a lot of those guys did that via remote virtual training, and they still got that.
About 6 months of true implementing what they want to do.
Yep.
If that. And some of that was during the season.
Right. That's what I'm saying is the guys we just talked about, Ryan, they really didn't get the full benefit of the transformation that happens in an off season in spring, between January and spring ball. Because what happens is, Ryan, you do all of that work, and then you go out and you see where you got better, and then they tweak it a little bit for the summer so that you're even better in the fall. And they didn't get that opportunity to work with these guys, and it's so individualized now, Ryan. When we came on, everybody pretty much did the same thing within groupings. man, they're now creating individualized workouts so that a guy is spending all of that time getting better at what he needs to get better at. And it's so much more efficient. And that's why Saban is the greatest, because he's just always, ahead of the curve in terms of what he brings to the table.
That's Martin Houston. I'm Ryan Fowler. We're going to stop right here. We're going to come back, and I got to set up a question. But I don't want to set it up, because if I tell Martin, I want to get his instant reaction to something that happened today. But I don't want him to know what it is, because I want to get his gut reaction, being a guy that's a part of a football team and a very good one at the University of Alabama. We'll continue with more of the game. Tide 100.9, the home of Alabama Crimson Tide Sports.
Ask big. Have you seen our artisan-created diamonds? If you've been in a room with one, you can't miss it.
Tom Upton from Fincher and Osmond.
It's a diamond like I've never seen.
He's seen a lot of diamonds.
Ask big.
At Fincher and Osmond, you can put artisan-created diamonds side by side with mined diamonds. When you see it,
More importantly, when she sees it,
FincherandOsmond.com.
McFarland Boulevard between Edgar's and Local Roots. At Northport Auto Supply, we understand there's nothing worse than a dead battery. So to keep this from happening, be sure you periodically check your battery, including the terminals for corrosion. And if you ever need help, then come by Northport Auto Supply and let our knowledgeable professionals check your battery for free. Northport Auto Supply has the area's largest inventory of batteries in stock, and we'll even install it for no charge. Northport Auto Supply. Why go anywhere else?
What can give you a competitive edge in today's red-hot housing market? Rocket can. That's because Rocket Mortgage can give you a verified approval. It could help your offer stand out, because when you find the perfect home, you don't want to lose it to anybody else. Rocket Technology provides a rock-solid verification of sellers and their agents.
All right, Martin, you got me?
We've already helped over 1 million clients just like you reach their home financing. So remember this. What can help you buy the home you really want? Rocket can. RocketMortgage.com or call us.
Roll, Todd.
That's RocketMortgage.com or call.
Okay, I got you. As long as you can hear me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm clear. Yeah, Martin, I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you crystal clear. And it looks like I'm modulating on the volume side of things.
I can hear you good. You're good.
Yep. Okay. Hey, do you want me to hit this microphone mute button for me, where you can, because you're feeding the audio, correct?
I'll flip it to my headset so that it's not on here, so you can talk directly.
Nothing runs like a deer. Get a new Z300.
Hey, Bryant, do we have to worry about a show tonight, or do I need to preview anything coming up? Do I need to preview anything coming up after this?
No. Also, one thing we might get static is I can hear you.
Okay. Well, if he tells me to hit the mute button, I will.
Numerous affiliates around the Southeast. Check out AlabamaTradition.com for a list of affiliates, as well as other great content.
All right, so reminding you that we'll have all of our Tide 109 coverage. We do it every single day, 12 hours, a lot of content. We're replaying this show from a Tuesday recording on Saturday, so I hope your weekend is going well. We greatly appreciate that. For those listening on Tuesday, he's like, what? The weekend's not here yet? So trying to cover both audiences. We'll do some things, and Martin and I are going to enhance this as we travel throughout this show. Alabama tradition, the past, present, future. So, Martin, here we go. I want your gut reaction to what I'm about to set up here. Najee Harris misses his flight back to Birmingham, and one of the reasons why he does.
And so he's not able to make it back. He's not able to make it back, and he drives 9 hours not to work out in pro day, but to support his teammates and be here for those guys, just to support them for moral support. Your reaction?
Well, what did Nick Saban tell us all year about this team? He said this was one of his favorite teams, Ryan, because of how they came together. And it's almost like that adversity of COVID-19, the challenge of what they went through, brought them closer together. And as a result of that, there's a bond that's hard to be broken. And I believe that's why you saw this team play and win and do what they were able to accomplish, because of that bond and that brotherhood that you're referring to.
Yeah, so when you look at Najee Harris, I think it's been pretty incredible. Driving 9 hours to not do anything, but just where he can be here. And, if you're sitting there as an NFL GM and you're sitting here as an NFL scout, you're looking at that, and I don't think this is the reason why he did it, but it's a byproduct of doing it, and you kind of get this credit. Those guys are sitting there going, I like this. I mean, because that's a team that you can build around a guy like Najee Harris, or even just supplement your already current locker room.
Yeah, without a doubt, is a great characteristic. Remember, Ryan, there's guys who fall in the polls and in the draft not based on their football ability, but how they interview, how well they interview.
Sure.
And part of that interview process is just talking through the character side, and they take the Wonderlic test, and they do all that stuff to get a profile of this kid and how he will fit. And if I'm a GM, I'm going, okay, whether this guy did it to support his team, or if it's just to meet these coaches in person, either one of those is going to be a plus, because this Najee Harris is the best running back coming out based on the season. So what does he have to gain technically, other than the personal connection, character side of things? And to me, he showed that a lot. And I think you saw that, Ryan, in the way they responded to Dickerson on the injury. I think that this team as a whole was a little special. And I think you may have a little bit of that on this basketball team, Ryan.
Wow, it's amazing how that kind of rolls down. And, you see other teams and you see that chemistry. You're like, hey, I want to be a part of it. I want to be a part of it. Let
me ask you this, Ryan. Did you see last night who's been struggling for this basketball team? John Petty, right?
He had been, yeah.
Did you see when he made that shot? The Coach Nate Oates and the whole sideline tried to slap him on the butt after he made that shot. I mean, they were all excited, the entire team. And to me, that energy got going, Ryan, and it was contagious. But I think that's because they really care about their brother, and they didn't want to see him struggle. And when he did something to break out of that slump, bam, they were all on top of it.
All right, so real quick, because the game will be on Sunday, we will not talk again until next Tuesday on Alabama Tradition. We will on our individual shows, but not on Alabama Tradition. Do we get past UCLA?
I think Alabama is going to an Elite Eight, matching the deepest run they've ever had in the tournament. And I think they do it with style, Ryan. I think it's a good game, but I think this team found their stride last night, and we'll see more of the same on Sunday against UCLA.
I agree. I think we can even get beyond the Elite Eight. I know Martin is not just ending at the Elite Eight, but we get past UCLA. We'll talk more about an Alabama tradition, the past, present, future of the Alabama Crimson Tide. That's Martin Houston. I'm Ryan Fowler. We'll talk to you next time here on Alabama Tradition.
Roll Tide.